Welcome to GT on 4. This week's action comes from Snetterton in Norfolk. And while it may not be the most technical circuit, it is one of the fastest. And when you've got cars like the TVR and Mosler racing like they did at Donington, technique pretty much goes out the window anyway.
Down into Redgate for the start of this new 75-minute race. Oh, look at this battle. This is fantastic. Oh, it links up the inside again, taking advantage of the back markers. There's a Corvette, there's a Lotus. Whoa! They're going to have to pick a side. Rob Barth goes around the outside. Sean Balfe up the inside. Oh, he just gets it. Oh, he's way too hot. The Corvette gets in the way. Barth is tucked right in behind him. The last lap, the last corner, he wins it. Sean Balfe in the Mosler.
Sean Balfe winner at Donington, but this time you seem to have gone from hero to zero. What happened? You're at the back of the grid.
Yeah, it's not how we quite wanted to go about round two at Snetterton, but we finished qualifying in third place, second row, which Jamie was only 2/10 off pole, which was a good effort for his second ever qualifying session in the car. But basically, scrutineering found a small technical infringement to do with the air intake, which basically means we failed within the technical regulations and go straight to the back of the grid. But I would anticipate and hope whoever starts the race would be back into the top 4 or 5 within 5 laps, say, because our pace is very strong this weekend, and I think that'll be shown the way we come back at the race.
So it's maximum attack straight away then?
Yes, maximum attack.
Martin Short, you're responsible for bringing these Moslers into the championship. Now, you missed the first round, but you're here today. Does that sort of make amends?
Well, I hope so. I mean, this is my first race with the Mosler in Britain, even though we've been all around the world with it, with Bathurst 24 hours and Daytona 24 hours and even Belgium. This is the first time I'll have raced a car in Britain, and it feels absolutely bizarre to do it all the wrong way around. But we're back at Snetterton, hometown, our home area, and really looking forward to it.
Well, I think that your colleagues over there will be quite keen to stick it on you again.
I have absolutely no doubts about that, which is what makes this competition so enjoyable. But they're going to have to work very, very hard for it.
Matt Griffin, round 1 winner, couldn't have been a better start to the season.
No, it couldn't have been a better start. I mean, we had pole position, fastest lap, and we won the race quite comfortably, so absolutely perfect start to the season.
I can't help noticing that there's another Porsche here today, so what does that mean for you?
Well, it's good that the competition's getting tougher, because obviously as the competition gets tougher we have to raise our game, which we have done this weekend, and we were quickest in qualifying again by a comfortable margin, so it's good.
Now, it's a 2-hour race this time, so how different is that going to be from the 75 minutes of last time?
From a driver's point of view, physically it's going to be a lot more demanding to keep your concentration up and to keep lap times consistent, and as well preserve the car is going to be important, but you know, I'm sure I'm up to it. I'm in the gym about 5 hours a day at the moment, so
hopefully that'll stand you in good stead.
Yeah, I think it will.
After round 1, the Mosler pairing of Sean Balfe and Jamie Derbyshire lead the championship following that dramatic last lap manoeuvre on Rob Barth's sister car. And in the Cup class, Patrick Pearce and Matt Griffin lead after a dominant performance last time. Here we go, round 2 of the British GT Championship here at Snetterton. The front of the grid, it's Mosler and TVR. A great lap there by Martin Short to get pole position. TVR on the second row of the grid with a great lap also by Dan Eagling to get that Marcus Mantis into 4th place on the grid. At the back of the grid is a Mosler, though. If you look all the way back, you will see that one of the Moslers that qualified in 3rd position had a leaking airbox in qualifying and was sent to the back of the grid. We look forward to a charge through from them. Traditional rolling start as we're about to go racing down into Rich's Corner for the first lap of this 2-hour race. Now, you can guarantee this is going to be 2 hours of absolutely flat-out racing. Good start there from Tom Herridge. Shane Lynch just tucks in behind him. Shane made a great start at the first round at Donington. He's a little bit careful now as they get on the brakes going into Sear. Going onto the long back Revet straight here at Snetterton, which will give us some excellent overtaking. And look at that, a fantastic start there by Stephen Brady of the Masters Motorsport Ultima. He tucks in behind the Peninsula TVR. Looks like he's going to the left-hand side of Graham Mundy down the Revet straight. Is it going to break down in for the S's? Yes. Good move by him. Now, I'm really pleased to have alongside me in the commentary box Simon Harrison, ex-British touring car racer and champion. Simon, a good 2-hour race in store.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Snetterton is a superb circuit. It's high speed, and its big characteristic is the enormous back straight. It leads into a tight left-hander, and that gives us some fantastic overtaking opportunities.
Talk about overtaking. Look at this. Jamie Derbyshire at the end of the first lap is already on terms with the leaders of the Cup class. Those are the two Porsches we can see there just at the top of our picture. And Derbyshire takes a look up the inside of the very tight Russell S's, and he thinks better of it. Now he's got his work cut out for him to get on terms with the front end of this field. But Simon, he's already doing a pretty good job as he goes right by.
Certainly, the power of the Moser looks hugely impressive. What he's got to do now is just pick them off one by one, be careful, and just rise the way through the field.
Oh, the 78 Porsche Nick Stabley goes up, or tries to go up the inside there, and that grip, but that was close. So as we come now, going on to the Revit straight, the two Porsches, and we take another look at the charging Mosler of Jamie Derbyshire. He's coming now up on the Corvette of Peter Labatt. Fast car in a straight line this Simon.
It certainly is. Look at that, and look at the length of the straight now. They're going to be up to 150 miles an hour as they go under this bridge, and then it's hard on the brake for the S's.
Look at this, the leaders continue to charge away. Tom Herridge leads, the close attentions of Shane Lynch tucked right in behind him. He was so impressive in round number one. He continues to impress here at Snetterton. Oh, and just out of our picture here, Dan Eagling is put down a place by the continued charge of the number 33 Mosler of Jamie Derbyshire. Now he's tucked in behind the JCB car, driven by Graham Munday. He's already up into fifth place, and I think in a blink of an eye, we're going to see him take fourth. He goes up the inside into Riches. This, Simon, is an impressive drive indeed, isn't it?
That was a great move. He's doing exactly the right thing. He's calmly picking them off one by one as he marches towards the front of the grid. You can't fault him. It's so easy when you come from the back of the grid to overdo it and to make a daft mistake, but he's staying level-headed and he's doing a top job.
Wow, doing a good job there. We're impressed, aren't we, with that Masters Motorsport Ultima, because they had a tough time at the first round at Donington, but right now in that machine, he looked like he had the legs on the Mosler.
The Ultima's doing great. Let's watch it now. He's actually pulling away from the Mosler. We know how powerful the Mosler is, and this thing is pulling away from him slightly. It's going to be a struggle for him to pass. He's having a sneaky look up the inside there. He's never going to get through, but let's watch what he does on the run down to Russell.
That's it, and on the run down to Russell, Jamie Derbyshire looks up the inside, but oh no, he's not going to let him through there. No way indeed. Stephen Brady says, I've worked hard for this place, and I'm not going to give it up easily. And again, he gets the advantage, it looks like, of the power of that Ultima as he pulls away down in towards Riches. Now, this is one of the fastest corners on the track. We'll see Stephen Brady perhaps, yes, just check his mirrors as he turns into Riches' corner here. Now, if he can just stay ahead of him through here, Simon. Oh, the very close attentions of Jamie Derbyshire, though. Is he going to make it through? He squeezes up the inside. Is he around the outside of him? No, I think it's a clean pass.
Yeah, it was a good move. It seems slightly disappointing from the Ultima there. He seemed to really have the legs with the Mosler and was giving him a good battle, but just didn't seem to be fast out of Riches and lost the advantage going down into Sear.
Well, as the 33 Mosler continues on its charge, continuing at the front of this field is Tom Herridge. But Shane Lynch again is keeping him honest here. It's great, Simon, isn't it? So far this year, we've seen a really good battle between the Moslers against each other, but also the TVRs right up there in. Oh, Graham Munday, he runs just a little bit wider than he'd like to in the Peninsula car. Now let's look at the power of the Ultima down the straight. Is he going to get it back? As you said, Simon, such a long straight. If you've got a power advantage, boom, there you go.
Yeah, through he goes. A great move, in on the brakes now, and just having a quick look at Amanda Stretton. She's waiting to go in the Dodge Viper.
Yeah, she sure is. She's going to take that machine over from Annie Templeton. As we look at the leaders now coming upon the back markers. Now, Simon, you drive a car quickly, you can qualify it well, but you have to be able to deal with back markers and traffic in GT racing as he goes by the very nice looking Exige, Lotus Exige, number 55 RML car there.
Yeah, you've got to be very careful when coming up against back markers. Obviously, they're having a battle of their own. They may not be aware you're there. You've got a speed advantage, but you just can't blast past them as if they haven't seen you. You've got to be careful.
Yeah, you sure do. Shane Lynch tries to be as careful as he can, and we see Annie Templeton is slowed down in the middle of the Russell chicane. Now, he was just getting by the number 46 Morgan Aero 8 car, Rob Wells, and that's a GT class Viper on the left-hand side of our picture, and that's a GTO class Tuscan-R on the right-hand side as we go down into Riches now, and Shane Lynch puts a good move there, but look at that, right in behind him already in this race, Jamie Derbyshire is looking to get on terms with Shane Lynch in the TVR. Up the inside of Annie Templeton he goes, again the long straight down here, Simon, that's what he's looking at right now. Forget about the Lotus on the left-hand side, it's the bright orange colors of the TVR down the long straight here. As the battle at the front continues, the lights start to go on. 2-hour race here at Snetterton.
I reckon he's got his lights on there to try and warn everybody he's coming up on them. But what a top job Jamie Derbyshire has done. He's picked them all off, and I think that means he's up to third place, isn't he, Rob?
Yeah, he sure is, Simon. I'll tell you what, the first round of the championship, I think everyone expected in the new Mosler that it was going to be Martin Short and Tom Harridge who was going to win it. In the end, it actually wasn't team owner and driver Martin Short who drove in the first race, but Rob Barth. Now, Martin Short's back in the frame this race, but again, I think surprised at the pace of the other Mosler this weekend.
It's hugely competitive. I don't know how far Martin is ahead of this pair at the moment, but he's catching up, and look, he's even having a look up the inside here at the TVR. He's getting very close.
It sure is. The battle between the Moslers and the TVRs continue. Of course, the leading car driven by Tom Harridge right now going to be taken over by Martin Short when we come to the pit stop. The guy driving this Mosler right now, extremely impressively, is Jamie Derbyshire. He's going to hand over to his partner, Sean Balfe, when we come to the pit stop. But right now, he's thinking about nothing other than getting by Shane Lynch as we come down into the S's. Good job there. Turns into the tight left-hander, has to slow the car down, throw it into the tight right-hander. Big, heavy car, the Mosler. Extremely nice-looking racing machine. As Jamie Derbyshire heads through the bomb hole, just a slight easing off of the throttle before he's flat out back down on the power. We take a look at the Cup class battle here. Neil Cunningham in the Morgan Aero 8, and he's battling now with the number 55 Lotus Exige being driven by Paul White. He's going to hand that car over to Chris Goodwin when we come to do the pit stops here as they continue down into Riches. Oh, and it's the battle at the front, the battle of the Mosler. Simon, we weren't expecting this so early in the race.
This is incredible how Jamie's caught up to the lead car. And look at them, he must... Oh, what's going on here? I think that Shane Lynch has gone straight on at Russell.
Yeah, he sure has, Simon. We've had some reports back that he's had ignition problems with the car, and that means the engine's cutting off, and he's losing power steering, isn't he?
It must be a heavy car to drive back power steering. He probably can't physically turn the wheel. He's gone way over the grass, and that's lost his time.
Sure has, so that's good news for the Moslers as we look at him here, Simon. Again, just literally he couldn't steer the car through.
Doesn't look like it, even though he locked up, who knows which, but he's lost time. He's going to struggle to get speed down this straight, and he's going to lose in touch with the leading pair.
He is, so the Moslers continue to battle. Remind you, it's a 2-hour race here at Snetterton. The first time the British Championship has had a 2-hour full-on endurance race. And right now, it's just 2 hours of absolute action between these two Moslers. Look at how quick they are through Coram. They're such beautiful cars. And this battle, I think, is going to continue all the way through the season. Who can be the top Mosler? Look at this, Jamie Derbyshire up the inside. Where did Tom Harridge go? And again, Simon, we've had some reports back that Tom Harridge is talking to his pits on the radio and saying he's got a deflating front tire. That's what's causing him to lose considerable pace on the track.
If he loses pressure in the front tyre, what that means is he's just not going to have the steering. The car's not going to want to turn. And also, it's not going to be particularly good on the brakes. And we're able to see Jamie just side past into the lead there. It was a bold manoeuvre, but he pulled it off superbly. And I think if we sit back now, we can watch him pull away.
Yeah, look at that. He's really enjoying himself, Simon, sliding the back end of that car. Now here, Shane Lynch, we saw him go over the grass. He's got all kinds of stuff in the front end of that car, and that's why the engine is overheating. So he gets the attentions of the Eclipse team as he goes back out into racing competition. Oh, a little bit quick. Watch out for the pit lane speed limit. He goes back into racing competition. We are going to be heading off to a break. Make sure you join us for the second half of this race. Welcome back to Snetterton, round 2 of the British GT Championship. No, you do not have deja vu. Shane Lynch did exceed the pit lane speed limit. He's being brought in for a 10-second penalty. That is going to do his chances of winning this race no good whatsoever. Frustratingly long time sat there as the marshals control him for that 10-second pit stop. And of course, they can't make a driver change, Simon, during that. So they're going to have to come in again as we see most of the competitors now heading in for pit lane.
The thing is, Rob, it's not just the 10-second penalty. He's got to come in and exit the pits. He's going to lose probably the best part of 30 seconds. Very frustrating for Shane Lynch.
Yeah, it sure is. The number 46 Morgan now changes its drivers. That's Chris Goodwin behind the wheel of the number 55 Lotus Exige, but they seem to be having some kind of problem. Chris Goodwin, extremely experienced, very rapid driver, beautiful little Lotus. Excellent to see that car out in GT competition this year. Graham Mundy comes in the TVR T400R. He's going to hand over to Richard Stanton. Now, maybe they have 3 drivers. They have 3 drivers lined up for this weekend, Simon. But is Richard Stanton going to stay in the car for the whole second half of the race as he takes over this machine? Now, if we look on the side of the car, we'll see the two drivers listed there are John Hartshorn and Graham Mundy. Stanton came in last minute, but we understand he may stay in the car for the whole of the second half of the race. Now, number 33 car comes through Russell yet again. The number 22 machine comes in. Team boss Martin Short. He's going to take that car over. Now, Simon, tell us a little bit about these pit stops. They have to sit there for 2 whole minutes due to fueling, don't they?
That's right. Everybody's going to have the same duration pit stop, 2 minutes. The only difficulty is with this car, they've got that slow punch on the front left, so they're going to have to wait till after that 2 minutes before they change that tyre.
That's right, changing the tire. They are now in the number 22 car. 2 minutes for fueling, Simon, because they don't use the very expensive rigs. Now, they're trying to keep the cost down in this championship. That adds a lot of cost, but for safety reasons, if they're using what's called dump churns, they have to wait for at least 2 minutes. The number 22 car is going to have to wait even longer, and look at this. The 33 machine now is pulling out an even longer gap than it had already. This beautiful car. Now, look at this. Martin Short goes back out in a racing competition. I think the leading Mosler is just going to be ahead of him. Oh, Stephen Brady going very, very slow in the Ultimate. And Aaron Scott has yet to drive that car in a race this year. They had problems at Donington. He didn't manage to drive the car there, and it doesn't look like he's going to get behind the wheel here in the race either. But things looking good for the pace of that car as Stephen Brady brings that car in. We understand gearbox problems yet again. The race leader comes into pit lane. Jamie Derbyshire has driven a fantastic stint. Yes, a little bit more aggressive on the pit stop now. And Sean Balfe, equally fast, is going to take that car over. The number 22 Mosler in second place right now is just about a whole lap down. They are going to have to work very, very hard indeed. But a long way to go. All kinds of things can happen. Here we see Annie Templeton jumping out of the Viper, and that's going to be Amanda Stretton taking that car over again. It's funny, Simon, isn't it, to see such leisurely pit stops. They've got 2 minutes here, so they can take their time on the driver stops because they're not allowed to take any less time than 2 minutes on refueling, as we see here with the 69 car.
Exactly, it keeps it safe. That's the idea behind it. You don't have to rush the fuel.
All right, rushing around the very high-speed right-hander at Coram. Here's the number 22 car of Martin Short. Now, this is his first race this year because he didn't do round 1 of the championship. As we said earlier, Rob Barth drove the car. Great battle we had there. Now, the leading car goes back out into the race. Sean Balfe now behind the wheel. And how close are they actually going to be to each other on track? There's Martin Short. You can see it. As we predicted, he has got just about 1 whole lap to make up on the car that we're on board with now. Amanda Stretton goes back out into racing competition for the second half of this race. The big, powerful, heavy, very difficult to drive Viper. Not a good part of the race here for the girl power machine, but it is back facing the right way here. As we see, the number 47 Renault Clio, again down at the S's, looks like their race and their day is over here. Now Enzo Mucci tries to get that V6 powered machine out of harm's way. We take a look now at Michael Malik on a hard charge, trying to catch up the 76 Porsche, his teammate who's leading this race. Into Riches now he goes, putting in some impressive lap times. Oh, Richard Stanton there in the TVR. He's been running very quickly in that car. But Simon, what an aggressive piece of driving.
Hugely aggressive. You can't help feeling sorry for the Porsche here. The TVR comes through. I believe he's trying to outrun Piers Johnson in the other TVR. But no real justification for that. Anyway, back in action.
Yeah, he goes in. Good piece of driving there by Michael Malik to hang on to that car. And there we see it, Richard Stanton. He was the car we just saw that aggressively got up the inside of Michael Malik, and it looks like his day is over. So Michael Malik won't be too disappointed about that. But Richard Stanton parks the Peninsula TVR machine. They were heading for a podium place. We have Nick down in the pit lane.
Jamie, you've certainly earned your money today. Last place at the start, first place by the time you're in.
I know. I just wanted to do a strong first stint, get through the traffic, get past the cup cars. I knew I had the legs on them down the straight, so I just wanted to sort of get up close to the leading guys, pick them up if I could, and then obviously, which I did, and then extend the lead. So I'm pleased with the job I did for Sean and try and make his life as easy as possible. So, yeah.
What about strategy? The rules say you can't. They've changed tyres, and you're out on the same rubber that you started with. You confident that they're going to last the distance?
Yeah, we asked the Dunlop guys that sort out tyres whether they'd go the distance. They seemed pretty sure they would, so we'd trust their judgment, so we decided not to.
Well, the Dunlop tires have lasted on the number 33 machine as they continue now on the last lap. Just tucked in behind there is Piers Johnson, but they are well down, and this looks like it's going to be 2 wins out of 2. for this car. Jamie Derbyshire and Sean Balfe now behind the wheel are going to lead this championship, of course. Been a great drive by them, Simon.
Yep, you've got to hand it to them. They've come all the way from the back of the grid to the lead. They've got a comfortable lead as well, and they're coming up to cross the line.
That's it, they take victory. Round 2 of the British GT Championship. 2 races, 2 wins for Sean Balfe and Jamie Derbyshire. So victory again to Mosler, but the other Mosler, the number 22 car, had those tire problems. They were forced to make a tire change, and that really was the story of the race. Here, the number 22 car of Martin Short. He started off with a full lap deficit after that pit stop, managed to get it down to a half a lap, but that was all he could do. He takes a distant second place. Now here it is, the GT Cup race winners, Patrick Pearce and Matt Griffin. Patrick Pearce behind the wheel now, and again, 2 wins out of 2. They won at Donington, they win here at Snetterton. Boy, Matt Griffin, he salutes Patrick Pearce as he crosses the line. And that is again a victory for the Tech 9 Motorsport team. They take a 1-2 here at Snetterton. So a Mosler 1-2, but yet again not in the order many would have predicted at the start of the season. TVR net third despite their problems, and the Corvette continues to impress. Cup class was won by a Porsche 911, and a Porsche took second place also, but the pack behind are getting closer.
Sean, congratulations. Fuel, tyres, and of course the driving all seem to work pretty well for you today.
Yeah, it was a top result. I mean, Jamie did an absolute textbook job coming from the back of the grid. We just really didn't know how quickly we could catch the front-running cars. I don't think it ever really crossed our minds that we would pass them. I mean, Jamie's pace this weekend has just got quicker and quicker, and it was that really that set us up. Some smart thinking on the tyres, so we didn't take tyres, but the other guys did, which gave us a bigger advantage as well. It was nice to hold it, a relief to hold it till the end.
So Balfe and Derbyshire head the table after a perfect start to the season, taking 2 wins from 2 starts. Tom Herridge is in third, but a mere 9 points adrift. Lynch and Johnson both flew last year at Knockhill, so watch out for them in the next round.
Patrick, that's 2 in a row now. Well done.
Thank you very much. No, it was a great race. I've got to thank the guys at Group N Tech 9. They did a fabulous job with the car. It was solid all the way.
So your teammates in the other Porsche didn't provide too much of a challenge later in the race?
Not in the later stages, but in the early stuff, Matt had to work hard to pull out a decent lead, and thanks to him, we got a good win.
Well, Pearce and Griffin also have a perfect score and look like a force to be reckoned with in the Cup class. Watch out for that Morgan, though, at Knockhill.
Well, Sean Balfe said he was going to stick it to Martin Short, and he has. There's 2 wins on the trot for the Balfe boys. Next stop, Knockhill.